Hi everyone, I'm Peter, and in this 2-week intensive course we're going to talk about playing 2-string trills. So trills that are not played on 1 string as we're probably used to, but on 2 strings instead. The fingering of the right hand is the same as in tremolo. We're using A, M, I, and P. In the first exercise we're trying to find a universal hand position of the right hand, so we're just playing very slowly with the new fingering and move the hand around until each finger feels the same comfort when playing the respective string. Let's start very slowly on the first and second string. A plays the first string, M plays the second string, I plays the first string, and M and P plays the second string. And now let's try to do that a little bit more fluid and maybe adjust the hand, see what works for you. Maybe a more steep angle lets you reach the strings more easily, or maybe you have to come from the other side. For me it's somewhere in the middle. The next exercise is basically the same thing, but now we're adding a neighboring string to make things a little bit more complicated. This is also a method we know from tremolo, for example. So now we're moving to the second and the third string. Notice how I try to move my hand as little as possible once I found the desired position. In the next exercise, we're planting our fingers of the right hand, meaning that once we play 1 string, we're already preparing the next finger landing and preparing on the next string. I'm going to explain it while I do it, because that's a little bit easier to understand. So while I'm plucking A, I'm simultaneously preparing my M finger on the 3rd string. And now while I'm plucking M, I'm simultaneously placing my I finger on the 2nd string. And following the same pattern, I'm playing I and preparing P, and completing the circle, playing P and preparing A. It's important to really be quick when landing on the string that we prepare and not do it as a successive motion, but a very simultaneous motion. So at the very same time, plucking and preparing. It's not important to sound beautiful at this stage. It's rather something we want to feel in our right hand in order to really get used to this new role of placing 2 sets of fingers on 2 different strings. In order to now even out the irregularities of the right hand, which just occur because the thumb tends to play a little bit louder than the other fingers, we're adding some accents. And we're trying to add the accents as unnatural as possible, just to make it a little bit more difficult and to more effectively even out all the unwanted accents and irregularities. So let's start with a group of 5, because we have 4 fingers. So every 5th note we're putting an accent on. We're starting with the first one. So A puts the first accent on. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My advice is to, each time we add a new exercise, go through the same methodology that we introduced in the beginning. So start on the first 2 strings, then add a neighboring string on the 2nd and 3rd string, and then plant the fingers. So also with this exercise, when playing a group of 5 or other groupings, make sure to go through this step by step. I'm going straight into playing it a little bit more quickly in order to move faster through the exercises. The next grouping is a group of 3. In the next exercise, we're trying to get used to these 2 groups of fingers being separated, so we're exaggerating this separation. We're starting with the 2nd and the 5th string. The challenge here is also to find a somewhat universal hand position for the right hand, so to not switch up for each note that we play, even though it's maybe impossible depending on the size of your hand. But we're just trying to get to as close to a universal hand position as possible. We're then making the distance between P and M and I and A a little bit smaller by using the 2nd and the 4th string. And now the original version feels a little bit easier by just playing on the 2nd and 3rd string. So by exaggerating the difficulty, we make the original feel a little bit more easy. In the last exercise of this video, we're working on speed and stamina, and for that we are starting to double the speed of the trills that we're playing, starting off slowly and then playing twice as fast. I hope these exercises are useful to you, and maybe you can even integrate them into your practice routine. And I'm going to see you in the next video, where we're going to talk about some more specific use cases of this technique.